Well, good evening. It is September, I think it's the 6th, 2022. And so here's the Lincoln Town Car. I've had it for a couple of years. It has a little over 23,000 miles. It's a 2006. And today I had my first problem with the car. I think I got it with 20,000 miles, so I put about 3,000 miles in 2 years. Because I drive this car, and then I got another car here, and so, got to drive them all. Anyway, so it's been really, really hot. I'm in Southern California, in a valley, Temecula Valley, and it's for 8 days. It's been over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 105, 108. So I've been driving this Lincoln because it's got, really good air conditioning. And today when I was driving it, I noticed a battery light coming on in the dashboard. And I said, oh, what's that all about? So, the only thing I can think of, it's either battery or alternator. Let's see, we can... Yeah. So, see if I can find a flashlight. Yeah, that battery looks a little sweaty there. I'm gonna check the fluid or the water in it. That terminal looks pretty good. This is a Motorcraft battery. It was replaced by a dealer, and I'm not sure how old it is. I think it might be 3 years old, because the previous owner replaced the battery just before I got it. Let's check the belt tension. Oh, that's good. That's good and tight. Yeah, so it's spinning. The alternator, luckily, is right up there. Isn't that great that Ford put the alternator right up there so I don't have to jack the car up and crawl, do the caveman crawl under the car. Now look how much room there is there. So much room in these cars. So anyways, so I found an alternator on Amazon, AC Delco. It's brand new. It's not remanufactured. About 115, but 120 with tax. Well, let's test it out. I'll show you what it's doing. The keys would be nice. Like my harp. Somebody gave me that, and I've been repairing it. All of this, I've had to replace this whole back end of it. The Joy. My son said, hey, Dad, he works at a music store. And the owner of the music store gave it to me because it was messed up. A lot of the woodwork was, somebody took a jigsaw to it. Don't know why. Anyways, let's fire this thing up. So, before I turn the video on, I have this little plug in, and I had it plugged in here. So I'm still at. I forgot to unplug this, so this thing has been in here since what is it, 7 p.m. It's about 1 in the afternoon. So the battery's holding 12 volts. I mean, yeah, it's not super high, but you think that thing plugged in there like that, it would be draining it. Let's see what the power is now. Oh God. Okay, so 13.6. It's pretty good. The light is green. Oh, this water must be 150 degrees. Sitting out in the sun today. So rev the engine up. Okay, so it's working good. That's pretty good, pretty normal. Let's try turning the headlights on. It's not too bad. Now let's try turning the AC on. Put it on auto, dual. Yeah, it's dropping. See, the light is in the red. It should be in the green, or in the middle at least. So it'll go below. It'll go below 12 volts. The light is over right over here. It goes on. So as soon as that goes below 12 volts, almost there. It's now below. I'm putting it in drive. Yeah, that should never go down to that voltage. Off the headlights. Still below. Yeah, it's below 12 volts. Let's turn off the AC. There, now it's below, above. So the AC's putting a big drain on the system. Well, I'm going to look at my manual and see what they recommend on testing, but I'm pretty sure it's the alternator for it to do that. I know on my 500 SL Mercedes, it had issues like this. It had a battery drain that was draining overnight. Well, not overnight, maybe it took about a week for it to drain the battery. So I said, oh, well, maybe it's a bad battery. So I put a new expensive battery in it. It still did it. Then I used that little tester that I have here and plugged it in and drove the car around. You know, I was trying different systems and stuff, and it was as soon as I turned the AC or auxiliaries on, the voltage it would start dropping on this thing. So I said, okay, it's a bad alternator. I replaced the battery, I replaced the other stuff people were telling me to do, over voltage protection relay and all this crap. So I replaced the alternator, and it was still doing it. And that was pretty frustrating. I spent so much time troubleshooting that car, and then finally I took the alternator out. It was from Rock Auto. I took the alternator out. It was a Bosch alternator for Mercedes, not cheap. And I sent it back to them because it was still draining, and they sent me another one, and everything's been working great for a couple of years now on that car. On this car, so well, let's take a look. Just for the heck of it, I'm gonna check the cells in here and see if any of them are dry. Okay, hold on. Yeah, none of them are dry. They're all full. Yeah. Battery doesn't even look corroded on the inside. Usually they'll be corroded. Okay, I'm gonna go look at the manual. Before I do that, I'm gonna check the belt tension. There's the alternator right up here. Yeah, it's pretty tight. You can see the tensioner moving, which is right there. That's good. Belt looks in pretty good condition. I don't see any cracks in it. Everything's pretty quiet in this thing. Got the wires up here. I could probably check. I'm trying to remember how to get this plastic thing off. It is the weirdest. It is the weirdest contraption. I gotta remember how to get this thing off. It has something to do with this, but what the hell? Okay, I'll look up the manual. I just remembered. It's a 1/4 inch drive. It just goes in here. Yeah. Man, it is still hot out. So it's 7 o'clock at night. It must be 98 degrees. All of California is having this incredible heat wave. Okay. That. And then this kind of just lifts off. And there's the alternator positive line. And then there's an electrical connector right there. God, everything is hot. I don't know how these things go bad. I don't know if they have a replaceable voltage regulator. That alternator doesn't look real nasty. I mean, it's hard to see, but I guess they can all break down. It's usually a diode that goes bad in them. A voltage regulator inside of it. positive line goes from here, goes up here, there's two lines in here. Not 100% sure if that's all the one that goes to here. I know it's hooked up to it somehow. So there's really no other connections I see. It doesn't look corroded or anything. Hold on. It looks really clean. Looks really tight. And then there's the electrical connector right here. This is to hold it on. Disappears down into here. Who knows where it goes to? But that looks pretty good. I could check the battery terminals. I mean, they're not dirty. They have all that grease on there from the dealer. You know, if they were crusty, I guess I could loosen it a little bit and try to turn this one a little bit. That one's, you can see how clean it is. But you think I'd have problems starting it if that was corroded, or I just, you know, would have other problems. Oh, 37 to 100 months. Huh. Okay, I'll put that cover back on there. It's really not the problem. Okay. All right, let's give it a... Oh, that battery's... It's pretty low. So... Well, yeah. I loosened the negative battery post and tightened it to see if it would do any difference. Let's see what happens with the AC on. Let's see. It just drops it. So I'm gonna look at the manual and see what the manual, if it says anything on it. But you know, if the battery was bad, I could charge it up overnight and see if it holds a charge after, you know, or charge it up for a couple hours and see how long it holds a charge. It shouldn't be below 12 volts. So, oh, I also have a scanner. It's not a very good one, but I think I'll try it out and just see what happens with it. Let's see if I can figure out where the plug-in is at. Okay, so the plug for this scanner it's right here, right there. So let's see, what does this say? Turn the ignition on, press any key to connect. It means start it? I don't think so. I think that's press any key. Okay. Codes found 0. Read codes. I can barely read on this thing. What does this say? Is this camera zoomed in or something? God, there. Okay. So, read codes, enter. Stored codes, enter. No codes are stored. Any pending codes? Enter. No pending codes. Let's do live data. Enter. Reading. I don't think you'll be able to get any kind of electrical information off of this. Oh, you can't even see that. Okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is not really going to do any electrical troubleshooting for me. So, unplug it. That's pretty easy. See, it's above 12 volts. That's about where you want to see it. You know, I got all the door lights on and all these lights on. That's going to drain it a little bit, but yeah, I'll test the battery in the morning, let it sit overnight, and if it's below 12 volts, that's indication that the battery's bad. I can run other tests on the battery, but you know, I did see a guy on YouTube, same thing, battery light came on, he replaced the battery, $200 battery, and the light kept coming on, battery light. So he had the alternator replaced. I think it was Lincoln Town Car guy. I don't know if he still has it or not. But then he had, he had the alternator replaced and paid someone to do it, all that, like over $500. I can get away with $125. That'd be pretty good. I do have to have a long drive this month. I'll take my wife to a doctor for an epidural. And dang, that's hot. I'm sweating just sitting in this car. Let there be light. Yeah, I'm going to be out kind of in the desert and stuff for the drive, so I want to make sure this thing works okay. Of course, you know, and you can do it now, but you'd have to turn the air conditioning off, which wouldn't be very much fun. And these things have great air conditioning, and it's kind of a, you know, kind of funny that it decided to do this when we're having this incredible heat wave. Maybe the car, maybe it was just the alternator or something, and it just couldn't handle the heat. It is what, 2006, so how old is that? I don't know. It's a 16-year-old car, 17-year-old car. Things wear out. Anyways, I'm going to keep working on it. So this is my plan of action. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to just take the battery out, take the alternator out. I'm going to go to a parts store called AutoZone where they can load test the battery and the alternator, see if anything comes up. You know, I'm suspecting the alternator's not keeping up with the demand. We'll see. You know, like I know with this 500 SL, when I did the same thing, you know, the battery passed, was good. I took it to one place. I think I took it to a Pep Boys, and they tested the alternator on their machine. They put it on a machine. It's free. And they load test it. You know, they put it on, mount it and turn it and stuff and monitor it. And they said, alternator's good. And I said, well, shoot, you know, battery's good, alternator's good. What else could it be? And since I was out, I said, you know what? I think I'll go to another auto parts place. I went to the AutoZone. And he tested the alternator, and he said, it's bad. And I go, well, at Pep Boys, they said it was good. Why is that? He goes, well, they didn't leave it on long enough. He told me that when you put that alternator on the machine, you leave it on there for like, you know, 10, 15 minutes spinning. He said when it heats up, that's when your intermittent problem happens. The diode in it or in the voltage regulator goes bad. And when it heats up, that's when it starts, you know, messing up. And if I wouldn't have done that, I'd still be scratching my head, tearing this car apart, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So Yeah, alternators can be tricky, and then, you know, a double whammy with this thing was when I bought a remanufactured Bosch alternator off Rock Auto for, I don't know, $300, something like that. And it was bad. And I had to go through the testing all over again. You know, not easy getting an alternator out of this big V8 engine on these cars, or it's tight. And, you know, so sometimes when you buy an alternator, you know, remanufactured one, if you still have that issue, double check that alternator you got, especially a remanufactured one. You just don't know, and it's a lot of work putting them in and out, especially like at this car, this Kia. Oh my God, there's like that much room to work in everything. This car, there's plenty of room to do everything on it. It is a big ass car, and there's a lot of room inside of it. So that's what we'll do tomorrow, and I'll hopefully bring you along, and we'll see the results. What do you think? Battery or alternator? I think it's the alternator. And you know, I'll take the battery and I'll put it on a charger here for an hour or so and get it up, because I know sometimes when you take your battery to these places, they go, you're going to have to leave it here. We're going to have to charge it for 6 hours, you know, because usually people bring a battery that's kind of bad, you know, and it doesn't have a charge on it. And their load testing machine requires the battery to be fully charged. So make sure you bring them a charged battery, you know, if it'll even hold a charge. Most of them do. Yeah. So we'll see you in the morning, and it's 9 o'clock now, and it is 97 degrees out. Insane. Okay, it's next day. Getting a little cloudy. Hopefully it won't be too hot today. There's that stupid sprinklers, God. Gardeners, they put sprinklers above ground so you trip on it. They're stupid. Anyways, let's check this out. I'm just gonna check the voltage overnight. Yeah, I don't really know how old this battery is. Found 2 receipts from the previous owner. One was 2016, one was 2019, but the 2019 one was a generic battery, and this one is a Ford, so I don't know. Let's see if I can I do this? I don't think I can, but you never know. So that's normal right there. All right, at least we know the battery isn't draining overnight. If it was below 12 volts, like 11 point something, you know that the battery's weak. But I'm going to take it out and just give it a little bit of a charge. I've been reading up on all these different, you know, problems with this. Most likely it's the alternator, but the car only having 23,000 miles on it. You know, with the SL, it's a 1991, and it's got 38,000 miles. And I felt really bad replacing the alternator, because the alternator I took out looked brand new. I mean, you know, original alternator. I wish I would have just sent it off to get repaired, and it probably only needed a voltage regulator, which is replaceable on these cars. On this one here, I don't think you can do that. I looked up parts, and not sure how that system works on this. Probably internal or something. But yeah, don't want to do it. You know, what is this? Beginning of September, and for 9 days straight, we've had over 100 degrees temperature here. Now, there's a hurricane heading our way. So tomorrow, it's supposed to rain. You know? Like I'm looking at the yeah. There's a hurricane. Right here. And I'm right there. So I guess it'll be cooler. But it's supposed to rain for 3 days. Outer bands of this hurricane, tropical depression. It's supposed to be clear on Monday. Today's Thursday. And I have to get her to the doctor by next Friday. And it's about an hour and a half drive, you know. Moreno Valley, which gets even hotter than here. Okay. So I guess we'll just take everything off with a pain in the ass. I'd just like to get a new battery and a new alternator and be done with it. But I like to know what, you know. I've read posts on the Lincoln forums where I replaced the battery, I replaced the alternator, that light still comes on. And then there's all kinds of like PCMs and other weird stuff. But I look at every angle in case this doesn't work, you know. All right. So I got this wiring diagrams for the car. Got it off eBay when I first got the car. Comes in handy every once in a while. So this is the charging system right here. So you've got your, let's see, you got your battery here. Here is, they call it a generator. So you've got power. Yeah, right here, plus it does have a regulator in it. Where does that go to? One of them, oh, PCM, powertrain control module. Battery junction box. So 15 amp fuse there. You think if any fuses were blown out, that light would be on, or there'd be something else not working. I haven't checked any fuses. But usually in my experience, when something like this happens, it's either, you know, battery or an alternator. I think alternator, since it'll start just fine now because it's got over 12 volts, and it's cold overnight voltage. But you never know. It could have a weak cell in it, and when you go to start it, it puts a load on that battery, and then one cell just starts to crap out, and you know, it starts draining. Especially with the AC on. What's got me puzzled is that I turn the headlights on, and you know, the voltage is still at 13 and above, idling. You know. As soon as I turn the AC on, that's when it puts a real heavy load on that system and then starts draining. Okay, at least we know what the wiring is like. Now this same manual, there is a battery junction box. Take a look at that. That's it right there. Wow. Yeah, it's got a lead right here. How does it open? Looks like a hinge. And here we are. So, at least I know where the fuse box and relays are here. There's some spares. Yeah. Well, at least I know where all that is. Okay, so. That's the first time I ever opened that thing up. Okay, I got the big boy here. There's the one for the wiring. I got these on eBay. I forget how much, maybe $60 for all this. So I go to charging system general information, and it has a symptom chart. So let's see, the charging system warning indicator is on with the engine running. The charging system voltage does not increase. That's with the AC on. So possible sources: generator, alternator, circuitry, that's a wiring, the PCM powertrain control module. Go to pinpoint test B. Where is that? Okay, just running a test to see if this positive lead, everything is good to go. So let's see, I get maybe stick this right here. Stick this right here. You got 12.16, 15. And then put it right here. And you've got the same voltage. So that means that this whole system is good to go. All right. Yeah, that's what it said to do in the manual. So much junk. Yeah, this has a charging system section. Yeah, it's mega. Oh. So yeah, that's what I have. The charging is not in. It increases though, but with the AC on, it starts to drain. So there's all these tests that you can do. I'm glad I bought this, because if the battery and alternator check out okay, you know, you can run all these tests yourself. It's kind of giving me a headache looking at all this, but you know, The battery is not discharging. No, it's not discharging. It's only when it's running. And then they also have a test, tool where you can put a load on it and test it that way. And that's what I just did. Voltage equal to battery? Yes, go to B3. Check generator integrity, disconnect this key on, engine off. Check the disconnect generator, C102A. Engine off. Check integrity, measure and record battery voltage. Key in start position. So the generator communication lines are disconnected. The generator self-excites if it's operated at greater than 4,500 RPM, approximately wide open throttle for 3 seconds. It then operates in a default mode at 13.5 volts until the engine is turned off. With the engine running after a brief wide open throttle is carried out, measure the battery voltage. Does the battery voltage increase? A minimum of 0.5 volt from the key on, engine off measurement to the key on, engine running measurement after a brief wide open throttle. So if it doesn't do this function, if it goes yes, then go to a different section. If it goes no, install new generator. And you can just keep going. Pinpoint test B. Check circuit for open or short. Check circuit for open or short. Check for correct PCM operation. So there's PCM, could be a issue also if it's not battery or alternator. Diagnose testing, pinpoint charging system overcharges. I don't have that problem. So this is for overcharging. 15.5 volts is too high, so you can run all these other tests. Overcharges. So diagnose and testing. So the generator on vehicle tests. Switch a tester to amp meter function. So I guess I could figure out the amp meter. I have a clamp meter. Positive, blah, blah, connect, probe the generator with engine running approximately to adjust the tester load bank to determine the output of the generator. Generator output should be greater than the graph shown below. If not, revert to blah, blah, blah. No load test. The engine running at approximately 2,000 RPM. Check the generator output voltage. The voltage should be between 13.2 and 15.5 volts. So, yeah, so they're going to run it when I take it to the place. Hopefully it's not somebody that just started and don't know what they're doing. I need to call them. What time is it? Yeah. Holy crap. Humid as hell. Tropical storms are so much fun. Okay, so time to get busy. Battery out, it's simple, a 5/16 right there. Couple terminals 5/16. Pretty rusty right here. throw some lube on there before putting it back together because it looks like it goes down into some, it's all plastic. In here is the 1-volt battery. Oh, wish I could tell how old it is. I think there's a way you can tell. '36-month Motorcraft. Oh yeah. So good that they put that on there. So it is a 2019. All right. I'll lightly charge it. Just lightly put a little trickle charge on there so when I bring it down, they're not going to say, oh yeah, you got to leave it for several hours with us and come back. Because it's got to be fully charged. Remember that. Okay. Got the charger that my mom bought years ago. She's passed away now. But she bought this, and after she passed away, I went into the garage, and her garage, and took this. My older sister got all upset. I said, too bad. What are you going to do with it? You take your stupid Subaru to the dealer for freaking dirty windows. What's wrong with my car? So we're charging all others at 2 amps, which is a little bit. It makes a little buzzing noise, but it's been pretty good. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't think I can test it. Okay, right now it's showing 12.51, which is pretty darn good. Barely even had this thing on here. Let's plug it in. Plugged in. Power's on. So, yeah, you know, it's pretty damn high. So I'm going to set it myself a timer and disconnect this in about, yeah, maybe 10 minutes. I have never seen that green light come on. Charging complete. So DC amps. I wish I could trickle charge it, but this is pretty much kind of trickle charging. Charge, start, activate, engine assist. Yeah. All right, I'll just do that for a little while. I should go make some breakfast. My wife's gonna wake up and be cranky. She has lower back pain and pinched nerve and had back surgery to relieve this compression on her spine, and like a nightmare. Yeah. So yeah, when you replace your alternator and your battery's hooked up, you can leave it hooked up so it doesn't, the memory doesn't lose all of whatever it's supposed to remember in there. That red lead is hot, so you want to wrap black tape around it so it doesn't short circuit something when you're taking it off. But I'm really happy that they put it right on top of the engine. I think all cars should be like that. You take the alternator out, disconnect 10 millimeter, there's 10 millimeter, 10, 10, 10. And then there's a little, what is it? I think it's 1/2 inch slot in here. And then you break that tension loose so you can pull the belt off, just like that. And then release it. Okay. And I think there's a couple bolts down here. Oh yeah, timer went off. I think I did about 16 minutes. It's 1280, so I'm just gonna disconnect it. It's got a total charge on it. Okay, I got it off. There's just two big bolts at the bottom. I think they're a 1/2 inch. Real easy. And I'll have to inspect under there. It's not weird. Only thing I don't like is the plastic intake manifold. I guess they're known to have problems. They crack. So here it is. Uh, 135 amp. Spins freely. Spins really good. Look at that. Oh, what goes bad in them? What goes bad? There's diodes. It's gotta be. But I don't think it's bad. Hard to see what's going on. I love taking it apart, but I've read that some people, the shops, they'll replace the diodes. The little connector there is real brittle, so that broke off. That's okay though. We'll get it to stay on. Yeah. Well, yeah, they say you can resolder some of these diodes. You reflow the solder. Sometimes when you have really hot temperatures, you can mess them up. Well, now I'm sweating. Okay. So now I'm just bring it over there. At least it's pretty easy to take all that stuff out. Not too much time. Oh, please don't drop on my foot. Put that there. Yeah, you haul ass. 20 minutes, you get both of them out. I love looking at stuff though. Look at the V8. I should clean all that off. Every time I take something off, when I put it back together, I clean everything off. That way when you come back, you got kind of a clean engine. You can find stuff, oil leaks, things like that. This engine it's a 90-year-old man. I think he drove it down a dirt road. It was filthy. If you look at some of my early videos, it was filthy. Other than that, beat goes on. Okay, next is driving. Maybe it'll be overcast today. It's just real hot and like muggy feeling. Alrighty, the harp.